Well, hello, my friends. Welcome to Breakfast with Sergio. This is a special episode where I am interviewing artists from around the world who are right now, as we all facing this coronavirus, we're kind of stuck at home and trying to make the best we can with the tools that we have and doing the best we can. So today I have with me Paul Beel. Hi, Paul. How are you?
Hey Sergio, I'm doing fine actually.
So
Yeah.
tell our friends where you're at in the world.
Okay, I am in Florence, Italy. So I am in. It's not so much a big thing to be in the red zone anymore.
Right,
Because it seems like just about every place is the red zone now.
right,
Uh,
right.
but this is how many days has it been that we've been on lockdown? I don't even remember anymore. I think it's been at least a week now.
A week, 1 week?
I think so.
Okay. For us here, it's just starting right now. I mean, I'm in Chicago this week. Today is Tuesday. So this week they started now restricting meetings, canceling pretty much everything, closing shops, restaurants. You cannot meet with more than, I think, 10 people or something like that.
Yeah.
Or less. So yeah, this is just kind of starting for us here. Now, something that we are doing here, my friends, which is pretty cool, is that as we are doing this episode, Paul is painting my portrait.
Yes.
So that is super cool. So Paul, we want to talk to you a little bit about your work, what you're doing right now, to kind of weather this situation. Tell us first a little bit how things looking for you over in Florence. How's people taking the lockdown?
Um,
What's the situation right now?
I mean, the first thing, it seems like there's really a lot of people that are really enjoying this experience to a
Oh,
certain.
really?
It's like we're all very, very worried about,
Uh-huh.
everything that's happening. But a lot of people, I think, are really discovering, holy shit, this is like being in a family.
Exactly.
Um, and I mean, that is something kind of exciting
Uh-huh.
to see
Hmm.
and hear all these different stories about what's going on. Generally, I'm not sure what the hospital situation in Florence is.
Okay.
I know in Milan they've run out of beds, it
Oh,
seems,
wow.
or they could say at the bursting point. I don't know
Hmm.
how far the bursting point can stretch once it's there before it actually bursts. But
Wow.
that is worrying. Yeah.
Right. Wow.
That's what's happening here.
I find that, like when this whole thing kind of started and we first watching the news is somewhere else, right? Somebody else's reality, then it comes to your city, to your country, and then like the first few days is like shock, like, I can't believe it now it's here. And then after that, I think is then now accepting that reality and figuring out, okay, so we are stuck, we're here, what are we going to do? Or how can I
Yeah.
make the best of it, right?
Yeah.
And I've been watching closely since you started posting about the portraits, and I have some of my favorites that you have done, which is pretty cool. And so it's nice that you're posting the process, the finished work, and I think that becomes inviting, right? As more people are home, and now it's like, well, maybe I had never had my portrait done. Maybe this is an opportunity, right? We all are stuck at home. We have our devices, we can connect,
Well,
and that is a fabulous thing. So tell me a little bit how this idea started for you. Why did you start doing the portraits? Like, how did it start?
okay. Well, I mean, it first started. It might even be almost 10 years ago now, and
Okay.
uh, I was living out in the country, so my flood of models had dried up. Because when I was in the city, it was much easier to get models out to me.
Yeah.
Um, and I was spending too much time alone in the studio, so I started doing these little Skype paintings. But
Okay.
I found I was spending so much time just trying to get people to sit for me, and
Uh-huh.
then okay, this is just the business part. I actually sold very few of them,
Okay.
that, for that time, it didn't really seem like it made any business sense for me to keep doing it.
Right. Okay.
Um, then, recently, once Corona hit, when it hit, I was in really a pretty bad situation because
Uh-huh.
um, I had this little job, very small job at a judo gym. I would set it up and clean it before uh,
Okay.
the gym every day. And that got canceled. And I was planning a workshop, and that obviously got
Yeah,
canceled.
right.
And sometimes in the summertime, I do tourist
Okay.
guided grounds, and that got canceled.
Yeah.
And I thought about Skype, but I thought about this project again, but I thought with the algorithm, there'd be no way anybody would see it. It would
Uh-huh.
have been like the last time. But, my sister, I was talking to her and she mentioned it as well. And I said, yeah, okay, I'm going to give that a try right now.
Uh-huh.
And, it's taken off. It's been really, I'm painting all day long right now.
Wow.
A while since I've been there. It feels
That's
really
amazing. What is the process of of how people get their portrait done? How do you do it?
okay. Well, it usually starts with a contact through Messenger or
Okay.
Instagram. And they say, hey, how do I do this?
Okay.
And I say, sometimes I explain a little bit, basically I give the very short version, which is we go live on video, you try to stay relatively still, and
Uh-huh.
I paint you, you know.
Uh-huh.
And then if they are, ask maybe a little bit more, I send them the booking setup so that they can book a time. And I explain to them, I mean, right now I'm taking PayPal.
And so then is the idea to send them to the person or
Yeah, the people, they generally, most of the time, by the time they get to sitting, they've
uh-huh.
already sent me a PayPal. So all of that is, taken care of.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a few people that have arrived a little bit late. It was the weekend and whatever.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
I'm fairly flexible at this point, really.
Wow, that's very exciting. That's very exciting.
Yeah, it has been. It really has.
And I think this is a time in which as artists, and as we go through this, I did an episode of Breakfast with Sergio today about, many artists had already like shows lined up for this month or openings or other
Right.
events that all of a sudden, like, for a show, you prepare months and months in advance for, when you're shipping artwork and all that, and all of a
Yeah.
sudden canceled. So, how to make the best of it, how to try to promote the work online. So, we gotta get really creative and figure out
Yes.
how do we continue working as artists?
Yeah.
How do we thrive as well? How do we continue to be able to
And,
pay our bills and so on?
can I
Yeah.
can I break in right now? I'm going to
Yeah.
give you a little bit of a plug.
Yeah, of course.
Probably everybody here that's watching this knows that Sergio, he's an artist and a gallerist and can I call you a art career coach?
Yeah, that's fine.
And I've been following along with Sergio's 2020 challenge.
Uh-huh.
And,
The business growth challenge. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
you know, if I hadn't been doing that and, thinking really hard about how do I put these different sort of platforms together, how do
Yeah.
I watch and make decisions on money and other things, I would have never been able to have dealt with this Skype
Yeah.
thing that's happening to me, because for it to work, really everything had to be in place. And
In
that,
place. Right.
very largely thanks to your guidance on the
Thank
next
you.
level.
Thank you, Paul. Thank you so much for that. It is true, because by default, we don't think about business, right? We like to just go in our studio and make the work. But
Yeah.
there's the reality of outside the studio. There's a whole world out there, and there are mechanisms, there are strategies that we can do and use, all of us, from those who sell the art to those who make the art to those who ship the art. When everything works together, things can happen. And like you said, putting those things together allows you to, now when this unexpected situation happens, say, okay, wait a minute, how I can transition my business, because my workshops got canceled, people cannot come in, or my show gets canceled, or speaking engagements that I had no longer are there. What's plan B, right? And how
Right.
I can jump into the mechanisms, systems that I already have in place, and make those work for me. Paul, like for the friends who want to find you on social media, where are you at? Can you share your Insta,
Okay.
Facebook,
Right
or
now,
website?
I am at Paul Beel on Instagram. Is that the way we say it?
Yeah,
And there's only two Paul Beals spelled the way we spell it on Facebook. So I guess it's worth mentioning. You spell my name Beel,
okay.
because lots of people have problems remembering that. Uh, no, it's weird with this last name that I have. It's like people,
Uh-huh.
I tell it to shop people all the time. I have to spell it out, and they still look at me like I didn't understand. And I practiced how I should try to explain it, and none of the methods ever is 100%.
None of them is bulletproof. Now, our friends who are watching this, the video, they have been, because we have another camera, they have been watching the process. I haven't seen it yet, although our friends who are, as they watch this video, they can see the process. I haven't, so I have to wait until Paul gives me the green light.
The green light. It's coming fairly soon.
Some of the good, on the good side, I've seen some good reports of, and later on I'll be speaking to an artist in China as well. Slowly getting out of that, and slowly getting back to business as people go back to work and so on.
Right. Yeah, I'll be looking forward to checking that out too. Because China right now is the best possibility for us to have an idea of how things are going
Right.
to happen. All right, soon we're coming up to the big moment, Sergio.
Oh, really? Okay, great.
Soon we're coming up. Not quite yet, but we're close, I think.
She'll be
All
next.
right, so we're going to do the unveiling right now then.
Awesome.
All right.
So, all right, so friends, so now the moment we've been all waiting for.
The moment we've been all waiting for.
The unveil.
The unveiling of the painting, Sergio Gomez, live from Chicago. Hold on.
And I'll play the drums.
They are now mostly done. Mostly done. There's always, I hang it up on my wall.
Yeah.
I look at it and I'll look and I'll see, like one of my finishing touches is.
Oh, that is awesome.
Moving by 2 millimeters is a finishing touch a lot of times.
I love that. That is so cool.
Yeah, cool.
I love that you can see the microphone too. Yeah. If you want to have your portrait painted by Paul Beel, all you have to do is just look at I'm going to post here on the screen. You can find his Instagram account. Go to Paul's Instagram account, message him through there or through Facebook, and he will take care of you. That's one way in which, we can keep supporting our working artists as we all go through this situation. And so my friends, keep supporting, keep helping our friend Paul and many others as well. Thank you, Paul, for this opportunity.
Thanks a lot. Thank you.
Wishing you amazing success. Wishing you, great vibes, and so excited for you.
Thanks a lot.
Be safe.
Take care. Everybody check out Next Level Art with Sergio Gomez. Ciao.
Thanks, Paul.
How do I hang up? You hang up.
Goodbye, friends. Take care. Have a good day.